whispers in the darkness. Emma tightened her grip on the steering wheel as her car groaned down the empty highway. The fuel gauge dipped dangerously close to E, and her GPS flickered before announcing, "No service." Great, she thought, just what I need. A sigh of relief escaped her lips when a dimly lit gas station emerged from the inky blackness. It was the kind of old weathered place that seemed forgotten by time. Peeling paint, a single flickering neon sign, and not another soul in sight. She pulled up beside the pump and stepped out into the biting cold, her breath forming ghostly clouds in the air. The silence was profound, broken only by the soft hum of the fluorescent lights overhead. Emma glanced toward the station's storefront. The windows were dark, and there was no sign of a clerk. Swiping her card, she began to fill the tank. The solitude started to unnerve her. Every rustle of wind sounded like footsteps. Every shadow seemed to move. She shook her head, chastising herself for being jumpy. Suddenly, the darkness behind her exploded with blinding light. Headlights from a truck pierced through the night, casting long, eerie shadows. The vehicle rumbled to a stop directly behind her car, its engine idling loudly. Emma's heart pounded. She waited for someone to step out, to perhaps offer a friendly greeting, but no one did. The driver's side window was obscured, and the silhouette inside remained motionless, watching. She forced a casual demeanor, focusing on the numbers ticking by on the pump. Seconds felt like hours. Stealing glances, she saw no movement from the truck. The feeling of being watched intensified, crawling up her spine. The pump clicked, signaling a full tank. As she replaced the nozzle, the truck's doors swung open with a creaking groan. A large man emerged, his figure illuminated by the harsh lights. He was bulky, wearing a thick jacket and a baseball cap pulled low. In one hand, he held a flashlight. In the other, something that glinted ominously, a gun. Panic surged through Emma. Her keys jingled erratically as she fumbled to unlock her car door. Her breath quickened, each inhale sharp and cold. The man took deliberate steps toward her, the beam of his flashlight dancing erratically. Just as she yanked the door open, a loud clang shattered the tense air. Emma ducked, bracing for the worst, but no gunshot followed. Peering over the car's roof, she saw the bulky man sprawled on the ground. Behind him stood a thinner figure, his face hidden in shadow, wielding a tire iron. His breaths came out in visible puffs, and without glancing at her, he shouted, "Get the hell out of here!" Her instincts took over. She jumped into the car, started the engine, and sped away from the station. The rearview mirror revealed a haunting scene. The skinny man standing over the fallen one, the tire iron raised and descending repeatedly. Tears blurred her vision as the gas station's lights faded into the darkness behind her. Questions swirled in her mind. Who were they? What just happened? Miles down the road, red and blue lights flashed ahead. An accident had drawn police and emergency vehicles. She pulled over, her hands trembling, and approached an officer. "Please, I need help," she stammered. The officer looked at her with concern. "What's wrong, ma'am?" She recounted the events at the gas station. As she spoke, the officer's expression shifted from concern to a grim acknowledgement. "You're lucky," he said quietly. "We've been tracking a dangerous man in these parts, a drifter targeting lone travelers. But we haven't heard of any accomplices." "Accomplices?" Emma echoed, confusion knotting her stomach. "Yeah," the officer nodded. "But from what you described, sounds like someone was looking out for you tonight." Emma glanced back in the direction she had come from, the darkness now impenetrable. The identity of the skinny man remained a mystery, a guardian angel or something else entirely. As she drove away under the watchful eyes of the stars, one thing was certain. She would never forget the whispers in the darkness and the shadowy figures that lurked just beyond the edge of the light.